everyone. Thank you so much for attending. We do have a special guest. I just want to point out we have our program officer here, Chrissy, who's tuning in from DC area, correct? Washington, DC area?
Chicago area.
Chicago area. Thank you. Thanks, Chrissy, for joining us today. But the majority of this presentation will be given by Marcos Suergo, who most of you know. It sounds like there's a bit of a Chico reunion happening, which is exciting. Marcos is from Chico 2019 program and based in Argentina. And interestingly enough, there's a lot going on as he is, he serves as an administrator there at his school, and there's big decisions being made right now about whether or not to return to school, not to return to school. So the fact that he's able to take some time today is especially appreciated. Marcos will be presenting his topic about cultural intelligence for global citizenship. And he has a very rich program planned for us, very engaging. So I won't spend any more time talking other than to say thank you for attending. This is the kind of the final webinar of our 3-series alumni webinar, but I will pass it off to you, Marcos, and thanks again for preparing and presenting this webinar today.
Thank you, Kate. Thank you very much. Do you all hear me well? Yes?
Yes.
Well, I will start my presentation by firstly, thanking Katie for all her support. As she told you, we are struggling here in Argentina because of the pandemic. There are some cities that are actually going to the lockdown, and there are some fights between governors, politics, and education is in the middle. So things are really hectic right now in my country. So they might knock my door and tell me to leave the school, but I will try to finish the webinar before that. Okay. So I wanted to show you the structure of this presentation. I will start with an icebreaker in a couple of minutes. Then we will go into the concept of cultural intelligence. We'll share an activity then. After that, we are going to discuss a little bit more with about assessment, about curriculum, about the concept and how we can connect it with the development of global citizenship in schools, within the groups and within students. After that, we are also doing another activity as to end defining and having a better sense about global education. Just to let you know, I won't be the only one talking all the time. I want to read what you write in the chat when we start some discussions. If you have any doubts, we will have some time for you to open your mic and maybe make some comments. And we will have some time sharing in breakout rooms, so we can deepen a little bit more within some of the terms we are going to share in this day. Okay. Do you all see my face as well? Is my camera on still?
No, it's off.
It's off. Oh my.
We are here to see you, Marcos.
I know. That's really important. Okay.
Now we see you.
Great. Okay. I don't know if you are aware that I started my career in education through the studies in political science. In those times when I was really, really young, I didn't know I was going to end up being an administrator, a principal or a head. I don't know how to call it. They call it many ways right now. But today I'm head of Breakout Day School, head of secondary. I started last year in February 2020, and I had 3 weeks of classes, and we had the lockdown. And it was like the longest lockdown ever in comparison with all other countries. We spent like 8 months in lockdown. Schools closed all the year, and with all the side effects of it. In spite of that, you know, I'm a teacher as my profession, professor. I had some experience on teaching history, philosophy, social sciences, didactics. I've been a teacher trainer at the University of Buenos Aires. I've been head of English principal in Southern Cross, another school here in Argentina. And I also organized kind of a NGO for fostering social and leadership development in rural areas. I spent a year when I was my 35s wandering around the inner side of Argentina, bringing these workshops to these places. And this is my face when I was a kid, when I was a student, and when I was almost 10 years old. And this is my kid today, very, very happy, about to start school during the mornings. So the objectives of today's webinar is actually to introduce CQ. When I use the term CQ, I'm talking about cultural intelligence. This will bring some ideas as to foster global citizenship among groups inside a school, and the whole idea of how you should prepare global education within an institution. Okay, so the basics are actually bringing some concepts in, show you some examples on how we can work and assess these terms, these concepts, and how we should, as an institution, think strategically how we should go through the term global education as to develop it in our places. Of course, we also want to bring some tips on how to use it in schools and classrooms. And of course, I think this is the most important part. I think we should learn from each other, because we have present here very, very smart people, and we should also have some fun. I suppose you all know Paul Everywhere. If you don't, and if you're using a device like a computer, you should open a new slide and try to connect to this link, because Paul Everywhere is connected to the presentation, and I want us to use this icebreaker to share some insights about what we are living right now. So you'll get the connection. You will get the link. Shall I start? I give you some time. You should connect to. You should click the link towards.
Maybe you should send the link via the chat.
To the chat. Okay. Yeah. Let me do that. Here you are. Let's go to the presentation. And we are starting. Thank you, Aviva, for helping me out. Okay. I want to ask you to mark places you visited in the last 10 years. Try to mark as much as you remember. Let's see if this is actually alive and it can move and you can do the map thing. You're almost there, almost there. Anyone? Dincha, you should be the professional here.
I did make some marks, Marcos.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know if you should refresh. I don't know.
I was about to fill all the places to link.
You traveled around, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay, let me see if this is on. Well, it is actually good. Well, you traveled a lot. Well, we can see here that if we start looking how this map shows the places we've been, we also can understand how Corona has moved around as well, isn't it? Basically, we can see that most of us have been in Europe. Not in my case. Never been to continental Europe, so I kind of envy you. But most of us has traveled around in the past few years, and this shows that we are really, really very much interconnected to each other. That's why it's one of the first reasons why we should address cultural intelligence regarding schools, regarding education, regarding our lives as well. As you can see here, we all moved around, we all traveled, we all visited places, because of professional reasons, because of leisure, because we wanted to go on vacations. So we are all very, very lucky people. Next question. What are you looking forward to most after the quarantine? This is a short answer question. Just let me know your insights about what you wish to do right after this this thing is actually over. Travel, that's a good one. A trip abroad or inside my country, that's excellent. Welcoming participants in person. Oh, I wish that one too. Traveling to a place again, going to see live music, going to Greece maybe someday. Meet friends, visit abroad. As a Latin, I miss very much hugging people very much. Safety for everyone. Good. Meet my family. That's an important one. Hug friends, of course. Well, basically, this is showing a little bit what we are missing, things we would like to do. Travel is one of those. Hug people, meeting our parents, being with them, connecting, traveling around, meet teachers around the world, doing another sushi another time one day. It's another thing we would like really, really to happen again. Watch a match in a stadium. Well, I also miss that one too. So these are many things that this current situation is affecting our customs, our daily lives, our present. Let's move forward for one or two more questions. Okay. Okay. This is a kind of a little quiz. Order from the most spoken to the least spoken language as a first language. Try to see if you can tell me which one of these is the most spoken one. And let's pay attention to the second and third language to check this. You have to rank it, okay? Remember his first language, okay? As a first language, we have English first, Spanish, Hindi, Arabic first, in a tie with Spanish, okay? Well, actually, the group is wrong. The most spoken language is actually Mandarin Chinese. The second most spoken language is Spanish. Thirdly, English, Hindi, fourth, and Arabic fifth. This is just some data. I want to go back in a couple of minutes, okay? Let's go to the next one. Rate most spoken language from the most to the least, first and second language, no? We might find some surprises in this one. Good, good. There's a movement. Mandarin, English, and Thai, Spanish in the third place. Arabic, Standard Arabic. I know there are many Arabic languages also, and there are some differences. This is Standard Arabic we're talking about. Hindi in the sixth. French. Okay. Well, actually, the most spoken language is English, slightly above Chinese Mandarin. We are talking about 1.1 billion people speaking the language, at least English and Spanish. You can see there the average of people that speak only English, 33%. That's why English came third when we spoke about the only and sole language the people actually speak. And we have 67 people that are bilingual, speak two languages, and English as a second language. That's why this webinar is being presented in English, actually, not in Mandarin. And you can see that Hindi, because of the amount of people that are actually living in that place, is in the third place, and fourth, Spanish, and fifth, French, with a lot of people speaking French as a second language. That's something that called my attention as well. Let's move on. Let's get into the definition of cultural intelligence. Then I will speak something about the idea of culture, and we will get into the definition itself. So we have three definitions here. You can read it by yourself. You can also, I would like you to rate the best definition, but I read it for you. Okay, so cultural intelligence is the capability of an individual to function effectively in situations characterized by cultural diversity. You have another one that says being skilled and flexible about understanding a culture, interacting with it to learn more about it, reshaping your thinking, to have more empathy for it, and becoming more skilled when interacting with others from it. And you have this other one that is really, really short that says the capacity to interact effectively across cultures. So as I told you before, cultural intelligence is a term that is growing, that is developing, because businesses are actually looking for this skill to develop, because for many reasons. Businesses actually, because they want to sell things, of course, because they want to understand culture, because it's an easier way to introduce their products to that place, to that country, to that continent. And of course, many corporations, they're actually filled by a lot of human resources that come from many places. You can think about Google, you can think about Tesla, you can think about, I don't know, whatever big corporation, they all are enriched by this cultural diversity. This skill of having cultural intelligence is something they really, really want and to develop. They want the human resources market to grow in this area. That's why it's a new reason we need to start addressing the issue in schools. I like this other definition that Clifford Geertz is introducing, that it means that it is the function of, that sets that the function of culture is to impose meaning on the world and to make it understandable. I really think when short definitions bring so much light to an idea, to define something so difficult like culture, I think it's good to use. Clifford Geertz is an American anthropologist that worked in the Southeast Asia, analyzing some Aboriginal people over there. And he came to this idea, this definition of culture, which says that there are some symbols, some things we do that actually bring some meaning to the things we do. And of course, language is a very important asset to develop this. Culture is an expression of our culture. It's an expression of our places, of our history, of our custom. And it's the way we can actually communicate. But there's so much beyond this that we need to address as to understand the idea of cultural intelligence. That's why we use this metaphor, this drawing that sets that this cultural iceberg, where there's a visible thing, we can see and actually understand from different cultures, but there's so much we cannot see. People say that basically we see only 10% of someone's culture, and we leave mostly 90% of most of the meanings of most of the symbols out of the visible part, no? When we're talking about the visible things we can see from culture, of course, we can see ages, clothes, genders, behaviors, language, physical characteristics, things that we can actually see directly with our eyes, with our feelings, with just getting in contact with a new culture by traveling around and stuff like that. But there are other things we cannot see that are actually invisible, that we do every day, in every moment, that are out of sight, and we need to start engaging as to start developing this idea. These are pattern of speech, body language, festivals, music, art, talents, social skills, nationality, wealth, social status, knowledge, skills, role of family, attitudes, personal values, cultural values, sexuality, family, many things we can think about. But, as we use this term CQ, this comes from the idea of having a certain intelligence. You maybe are aware of the concept of IQ, which measures intelligence. You might know about EQ, that tries to also measure empathy and emotions as part of an intelligence. And CQ is part of one of the branches of Howard Gardner's multiple intelligence, when we talk about interpersonal skills that might need to be developed. The good thing about cultural intelligence is actually something you can foster, you can develop, you can teach, and actually it can actually grow, especially in our kids when they're so permeable to new stuff and engaging stuff like that. I know I'm talking really fast because I was told I needed to really be very accurate in the timings. As to bring some light to this, I really want you to share in the comments some of your insights about the idea why this is important for you as a concept when we talk about cultural intelligence, and some ideas on how we can assess CQ at schools within your own places. Okay, so if you want to start writing things down, you can do it. We are almost on going to discuss some stuff about this. So cultural intelligence is as we can think about spaces within schools as to address this issue, as to assess it. We'll go deep into some of these examples we are sharing right now. We can think about real exchanges if pandemic is over, or we are actually thinking about virtual exchanges where people can connect through technology within different places, student-based learning, cross-curricular investigations, sports, cultural tours, study trips, community service, model UNs, conferences, and especially I think it's really important that every school tries to teach other languages, not only English but other languages, because it is a way into understanding other cultures around the world in the same place, of course. No, so you can write down other suggestions. There are many, and plenty of this. This is just a small insight of the issue on how to assess this thing. As to add up to this idea, we are more than 195 countries. There are more than 6,000 languages spoken by 7.5 billion people. 13% of these 6,000, these 7.5 billion people are trilingual. 43% are bilingual, so mostly 56% speak at least more than one language. When we think about movement and migrations and how we think this concept is actually developed, we should think about the first big mass migrations in the world during history. This started in the 18th century when states started to organize these great voyages. And today, in the 21st century, are individuals and businesses who are actually promoting, and states as well, promoting this kind of movement. Today, just to give you some interesting data, we have 58 million people per year going inside America, and we have 5 million people leaving America. So there's something there we need to analyze. In South America, we have 10 million people going in, and we have 39 million people leaving America, South America, to other places. In Europe, we have 78 million people going in, 64 million people going out. Africa, 25 million going in, 38 million going out, 80 million going in, 110 million going out. Asia and Oceania, 8 million in, 2 million out from the continent. So you can see that there's a movement every year going on throughout the world. So this is also showing us and illustrating a very, very huge movement that we need to address. I will close the concepts part of my presentation with this. Institutionally, as to address cultural intelligence, we need to be strategic. We need to understand that this has to fit in curriculum. We need to organize the assessments as to present it in a neater way within our places. These are some elements that some academic people were developed as to organize the idea on how to put things together as to fill in with the concept. Knowledge is the basics. This is part of the cultural strategic thinking we need to foster and develop. Skills with the experience we have to organize towards the behavior of students towards cultural intelligence. Motivation, of course, bringing mindfulness to our people to motivate them to actually get in the concept and to develop and to really be into the idea, as to foster cultural intelligence within the places. Okay, I will breathe. I know I went really, really fast. I would like you to take a CQ test that Katie will share with you within the presentation. This is a poll just to for you to be aware that there are CQ tests in the internet that might try to measure this intelligence. Interesting activity you can use with your students actually to build your own test. Okay, and this is really useful as to think the questions they are putting there, as to try to develop a way to measure this idea. So if things are already ready, we can start the poll to share these questions with you. Okay, Katie, is the poll running?
Yes, it is. Yes, so you should all feel free to answer. There's 6 questions on there.
Good. Good. So this is not to test the group cultural intelligence. It's actually for you to see the kind of question that might appear in the network when you try to see if this can actually be measured by a test. You know that IQ is pretty much measured by a test. EQ has many ways to measure how this can be developed as well. But CQ is maybe more difficult. Some of the questions can be easily be breakthrough or maybe managed or twisted as to make it look that we are actually culturally intelligent. So that's why my recommendation sometimes is actually play with some of these tests with your group. Try to see if that actually can say something about their cultural intelligence. But actually building your own is a good idea and a good way to introduce this thing. So is the poll over?
Yes.
Yes, it looks like 92% have voted. I will end the polling and share the results.
Okay. And what is the poll saying? I cannot see it. I don't want to go.
So it appears in the first question, most people agree, 58% agree. The second question, 50% agree, 42% are neutral, one person disagrees. And in the third question, 75% agree and 25% are neutral. In number 4, 58% agree. In number 5, 67% agree and the rest are neutral. And in number 6, 58% agree. We've got some who are neutral and 2 who disagree.
Good, good. Thank you, Katie.
Sure.
Okay, so, well, I wanted to do this just before I showed my daughter Justina. I don't know if you can see me. You all know what this is about. This is something that comes with our body. This is mate. We actually drink this. This is an infusion, an Argentine infusion that has some herbs inside. It's like a tea. We pour some water to it, and we take mate every moment, every day, even at work. I actually cannot work without mate because this actually keeps me awake. And you know that lockdown and pandemia is twisting customs and some of our common behaviors around. And there are very big, important campaigns, state-funded campaigns, as to make people aware that we shouldn't be sharing mate. Mate in Argentina is shared all the time. It's a way to make out conversation with people. It's a way to join with family. It's an excuse to visit a friend. It's something that meets up, make us get together in a reunion. It's basically it's part of our way of life. And because of this situation, when we have mate in our hands, we don't know we should share it, we should give it to, because it's actually rude not to share mate, and it's also rude if you don't take mate if you're being offered mate too. And this is an example of how things are being twisted around, how dynamic culture can be, and how things are actually changing, not only in Argentina because of mate, but in the world. So the next activity is about going to breakout rooms. I promised this to my folks, to my companions through the chat. I would like you to go to breakout rooms and briefly discuss, present yourselves, of course, please, and briefly discuss in what ways this current situation might be affecting your own culture. You can also add in what are things that you should never do when someone visits your place, or things that you should do when someone visits your place. Okay, and how pandemia is turning things around in this sense. So, Katie, if you can help me out, you can organize the groups between 3-4 members per group, and we will have more or less 8-minute discussion as to go through this discussion. Okay.
Great. I will open up the breakout rooms now. You'll be randomly assigned.
You all know the concept of global citizenship. It is like a higher level, let's put it this way, higher level than not only teaching civics or constitutions in our subjects in our national curriculum. So there are not many places that are actually engaged with this term. I guess you all understand what the idea is about. And the idea that whether we like it or not, we live in a global village. We are interconnected. Most of the data I shared with you actually address how much we are connected with each other and why we need so much to understand and go through this concept. So just let me do this short thing, and I will present again. I know I'm running out of time, but I'm doing this really, really fast so we can actually end up this part of the conversation. Okay. Basically, As you already said, we all live in this global village. The important question we need to ask ourselves right now is how we can actually engage our students to understand this concept as a group, as a school, as an institution, as a whole country. There's a basic ground. You all know that are the Sustainable Development Goals of the UN. These are 17 points that were shared around the world. That are things, yes. These are things that were shared around the world, so we can point to in the 2030. And these are the basic goals we need to address as to actually, change the world. Why not? And this is some of the terms we as a school, as Belgrano Day School, use to develop some of activities I want to share really, really quickly with you.
Marcos,
Yes.
sorry to interrupt, but the screen you're sharing right now is blank.
Oh,
So just maybe advance. There they are. Those are the Sustainable Development Goals.
you can see it now?
Yes.
Okay. All right then. These are the goals. There are 17 of them. This is the common grounds for us to share with our students, to share among students around the world, as to develop projects that can connect us. This is part of the objective of this presentation, that is actually connecting with you, connecting with your institutions, with your schools, as to develop projects that can connect students from around the world. One example of this, I will try to share the link, is a global podcast project. Some of the SUSI companions of mine were also involved in this project, where they had to develop a podcast about something that is related to their culture, to a problem of their own local place. And this was really, really nice, because it not only involved the development of a podcast and recording themselves, but also through Flipgrid, they also shared some of their insight. They also knew people from other parts of the world, how they were dealing with this presentation, organizing the podcast, and this was really, really fun for them. And they also involved several skills like collaborating, working together, cooperating, and also using English as to connect with people around the world. We also organized some virtual exchanges where they had to, I don't know, have dinner with someone's family around the world, have a chat with them, connect with them, discuss some academic stuff with them too. And this was really, really nice to live, and it was a very, very interesting experience for our students. So I'm going fast because we have just a couple of minutes. And we also have this thing of a global choir going on, global virtual choir. I will share the link with you later, so you can also watch this thing ongoing. Okay, so some of the conclusions I want to share. I would like you to open the mic if you wish, to share some of the insights you might bring on. But basically, it is important to actually address curriculum towards have a global education going on in your school. Thinking about the subjects you decide to use as to foster this concept. Also, a variable that might affect the possibility is actually having connectivity that might bring up and rise some inequalities surrounding your area, something very common here in Argentina. There is a very, very present problem we are actually addressing. And actually, this is a way we need to address the issue and the concept. I don't know if you want to bring some insights to this. I want to share just a little Google form thing with you, so you can give me some feedback. This is actually the wrap up. Thank you very much for being there and to connecting with us today in this presentation. Okay, if you want to just say something about the presentation, about the idea, please do so right now. Okay.
Thank you so much, Marcos. We still have a few minutes, so please feel free to share any ideas or insights or comments. Thank you so much. That was very, very rich, and you made it through. It's great.
Yeah, thank you.
did a
You
great
were
job.
right. You were right. I had
It's
so
hard.
much.
Timing is always hard, but you
Yeah.
got through it. Thank
Good.
you.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, very nice to see you. I've just shared through the chat a Google form where you can give me your contact in case you want to engage with us in a project or just have a conversation or think about ideas we can do together. But I would like to know how you felt today. What ideas are actually in your head right now? What things you want to share with all the rest of the people present here?
Marcos, we have no permission to access.
No access. You have to give us access. You can't
access to open the form.
I will.
And it was great to see you all and to listen to you, Marcos.
Good, good.
I would like
to. Yes.
I would like to comment on something, and I would like to have your ideas about it, all of you. So you have spoken about this cultural diversity or this cultural intelligence, and I like the 3 questions you posed. So my question is that to what extent do you think the ideologies of the other culture can be imposed on you, on your own mentality? In other words, so let us suppose if I'm traveling to a certain place, to a certain culture I'm not familiar with, to what extent do you think the ideology of the people I am communicating with can shape, I mean, do you think they have this preliminary idea about my own culture? And do you think that they would affect, their ideologies would affect my own? And at the same time, would this reflect on my dealing with them?
Yes, there's a term used by a guy called Huntington that uses the term globalization. There is a twisting the term globalization around, where it says that actually when you meet other cultures, you actually also fit in your own culture. It's like you also want to show your side of the story, your ideology, your ideas, your customs. There's a big discussion around this. I don't have a straight answer to it. Probably this of course will enrich your views about other people's culture in acceptance, not tolerating, acceptance of their customs and their ways, their laws, their religions, their traditions. And that's actually something it should enrich people around, and it should be something that we should all try to foster in our places and in our schools as well. Trying to have an open mind in this kind of things, and try to make our students also willing to open up to these new ideas and new ways of understanding. It's a big thing. No? It is a big thing. But thank you for your question. Is the Google form okay now?
Yes, it's open right now. It's okay.
Good. All right then. Anything else you want to share? Maybe an idea that you might bring on to everyone. Dincha, do you have something to say about the presentation?
Yeah, thank you very much for this presentation, Marcos. First of all, I would like to say it's great to see you and the other people at first, and it was great example to integrate technology with your issue. It was a good thing to see, and also I was very happy to meet and talk the issue that you shared with us in breakout rooms. It was a good opportunity for us to share our thoughts with them. The time is so fast, so I have lots of things to say, but maybe next time we can meet and talk about it. Thank you.
Yes, of course. I can organize the second part of this webinar. But I think technology is something that really raised it up on this pandemic. We are all using using videos to connect with each other. And this is a very, very interesting tool that will be still growing in the next couple of years, and that we need to use as to connect schools, connect students, and connect teachers as well, because we also need to engage with other cultures and to, you know, engage through concepts, through the CDG's goals towards project-based learning, and make our students connect with each other. Okay. Katie, I think we are pretty done. It's almost 1 minute before 10 o'clock here in Argentina.
Well timed. I just want to say this is the beginning to the continued conversation. So thank you for starting it off, and I hope that you will indeed connect with each other on your own time. That is the purpose of these webinars, to share knowledge, you know, in the brief time that we have, but then to keep the conversation going. So Marcos, thank you so much as you enjoy your mate. Thank you so much for putting this together, and to all of you for attending and participating. It's great to see so many SUSI alumni. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you,
And
Katie.
very nice to see you all.
Thank you, Marco.
Bye.
Very much.
Thank you, Marcos.
Take care, everyone. Take care.
Thank you,
Great
Dr.
pleasure.
Katie.
Thank you. Nice seeing you
Professor
all.
Marcos, thank you.
Until we
Thank you,
meet
Professor.
again.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Professor.
Bye.